Wait, didn't Jack quit acting because everyone hated Joffrey so much? The funniest part of this whole Jack Gleeson saga isn't even what happened to him. It's how confidently everyone thinks they know the story. Like, people repeat the Joffrey ruined his career line with the same certainty as water is wet. But here's the twist. That says more about us than about Jack. Our brains are lazy. Instead of looking up the messy, nuanced truth, we just slap on a ready-made narrative template. The one we've heard before. Child star crushed by fame. Think Jake Lloyd from Star Wars, forever haunted as Anakin Skywalker. It's a cognitive shortcut, what psychologists call attribution bias. We love blaming the person when, in reality, it's usually about circumstances and choices. And the internet? Well, the internet runs on copy-paste logic. It grabbed the familiar, tragic child star story, stapled it onto Jack, and boom, instant myth. But here's the kicker. The real story is actually way more interesting than the recycled headline version. Before Jack Gleeson ever sat on that spiky metal chair and declared himself King of the Seven Kingdoms, the guy actually had receipts. He wasn't some random teenager plucked out of nowhere to play Joffrey. He'd been acting since he was 8 at Dublin's Independent Theatre Workshop. He even popped up in Batman Begins for about 3 seconds. Yes, that was him. And landed a lead role in the indie drama All Good Children. By the time HBO called, Jack was already a legit young actor, not some one-hit wonder destined for meme immortality. Then came Joffrey Baratheon. And let's be real, Jack didn't just play Joffrey, he embodied him so perfectly it felt illegal. That bratty, sadistic smirk, the pure sociopathic energy of a spoiled teen king, he nailed it to the point where audiences everywhere were screaming, "I hate this kid!" And here's the kicker. It wasn't just hardcore Thrones fans, it was everyone, which ironically was the highest compliment he could have received. Because if people hate you that much for pretending to be a monster, congratulations, you're a phenomenal actor. And oh, did the internet have fun with it. Memes exploded. Joffrey getting slapped, Joffrey sneering, "I am the king." Joffrey being the human embodiment of someone needs to humble this dude. These didn't mock Jack Gleeson the actor. They enshrined Joffrey the character as one of pop culture's most despised villains. But the collective hatred was so strong, so visceral, that people started crossing wires. If Joffrey was loathed, surely Jack must have been loathed too. That little leap of logic, fueled by emotion, was enough to birth a myth that Gleeson quit acting because he couldn't escape Joffrey's shadow. A neat story, sure, but like most internet myths, it was built on vibes, not facts. The rumor that Jack Gleeson got bullied out of Hollywood is so widespread it might as well be carved into internet stone tablets. But here's the problem. Jack himself has been saying the opposite for years. In interview after interview, he's insisted he's never had one negative experience with fans. Not one. In fact, he says people are perfectly lovely and perfectly nice to him, and then drops the best plot twist of all. Folks might actually treat him better because they assume he's being harassed. Imagine being so infamous that people go out of their way to be extra sweet just in case. That's not a tragic downfall, that's a comedy bit. And that's what makes Gleeson's story fascinating. It's not a fame ruined him narrative, it's a subversion of it. Sure, other actors who played hated villains caught real-world heat, like Thomas F. Wilson, who played Biff in Back to the Future, and actually got confronted on the street. But Jack, he never lived that reality. If anything, public sympathy wrapped him in bubble wrap. So why did he step away from acting? Simple, because he wanted to. Gleeson didn't storm off in tears, he walked away on principle. In a talk at Trinity College, Dublin, he explained that once acting turned into a full-time job, the joy drained out of it. What once felt like play suddenly became mechanical. Add in the circus of celebrity culture, which he described as dehumanizing and a hollow pursuit. And you get a guy who looked at the industry, shrugged, and said, "Nah, I'm good." Armed with his studies in philosophy and theology at Trinity College, Dublin, Gleeson didn't have a breakdown, he had a breakthrough. He chose curiosity over celebrity, substance over spectacle. Not a casualty of Joffrey's crown, but a man who realized he didn't want the throne in the first place. The truth about Jack Gleeson post-Thrones? It's not some sob story about a ruined career, it's the opposite. His so-called retirement was him pivoting, not retreating. While everyone else was busy writing fanfic about his downfall, Jack was knee-deep in philosophy and theology, earning serious academic chops at Trinity College. In 2012, he was even elected a university scholar. That's not running away from Hollywood, that's leveling up. And he didn't exactly quit acting either, he just traded dragons for Dublin theater. As co-founder of the collapsing Horse Theater Company, he poured his energy into quirky, experimental shows like Monster/Clock and the cult hit Bears in Space. Less red carpets, more raw creativity. It wasn't career suicide, it was career detox. Then, when he felt like it, he strolled back onto screens. Not as a washed-up has been clawing for relevance, but on his own terms. In 2020, he popped up in the BBC's Out of Her Mind. In 2023, he starred alongside Liam freaking Neeson in the Land of Saints and Sinners. And now, he's lining up big projects, playing the sinister hobgoblin Puck in Netflix's The Sandman, and appearing in the upcoming House of Guinness. And let's be clear, playing Puck isn't some regression back into evil boy king territory. It's clever, it's meta, It's him taking control of his typecasting and twisting it for fun. That's not a man destroyed by a role. That's a man who turned one of the most hated characters in TV history into a launchpad for a smarter, stranger, and more deliberate career.